Okay, so Money in the Bank is done. Let's see if I can get these. There we go. And of course, being in Chicago and living near Chicago and not getting tickets to this, I'm ridiculously kicking myself because this was by far the best pay-per-view of the year. It made WrestleMania seem like it was nothing. It's really hard to sit in this chair with your legs folded. So they began with the Smackdown Money in the Bank, which was a half an hour long, just ridiculous match. Let's go over the highlights. Sin Cara got powerbombed through a ladder pretty early on. He really didn't do much. This match really should have been a phenomenal showcase for Sin Cara, and it really wasn't. You know, Gabriel and Slater came up looking pretty good. Kane came up with like $1 million. You know, Kane and Sheamus did the Doomsday Device from the Legion of Doom on Daniel Bryan. That was pretty solid. Kane choke slammed Sheamus onto a ladder, a 450 from the ladder on the top rope onto Kane by Justin Gabriel. Gabriel and Slater came out looking really good in this. So did Barrett. Everyone looked really solid, except for Sin Cara. And then ironically, the winner of that, Daniel Bryan. And the crowd went nuts. You know, I can't sit like this in this chair. It's almost too small. So, and that match was just fantastic. And then followed up by Brie Bella versus Kelly Kelly. Kelly Kelly retained. No big deal. Show versus Henry. Nice, solid match. These two guys put on some fantastic match work in this for two big guys. Henry won by hitting 2 World's Strongest Slams and 2 splashes to beat the Big Show. And then nail him with a Vader bomb with a chair wrapped around his legs. Really, really good, solid match work. You know, I like Henry as a dominant heel, is pretty solid, and he had a fantastic match with the Big Show. The Raw ladder match. This one wasn't as good as the SmackDown one. Everyone started out the match holding ladders from 4 to 6 to 8 feet. Why you would have a 4-foot ladder if the briefcase is 15 feet in the air is entirely beyond me. They did this really awkward slamming ladders in each other's spot right off the bat. And I was kind of like, oh, this is just going to be bizarre? They knocked Del Rio out and then they just tossed all the ladders on him. And then everyone does, you know, a nice, you know, high spot to get outside the ring. Evan Bourne, nice shooting star off the ladder on everybody for some strange reason. The Miz, while facing Evan Bourne on top, had a knee injury. So that was pretty decent. And then also that spot where all 7 people, because Miz was in the back with an injury, were on ladders at the same time. And then they all fall off one by one. And when Ray got close to the belt, the crowd booed. They popped for Miz, Del Rio, Kofi. Ray gets it, they start to boo. And that's out of nowhere, Miz comes around and Miz almost wins it. He gets stuffed. So now, you have Mysterio back up there again. Mysterio getting really close, getting booed, and then he gets unmasked by Del Rio. Del Rio runs up it, snatches it. So Del Rio was the Royal Rumble winner as well as the Money in the Bank winner. The Christian Orton match. Pretty solid stuff. Those two guys put on a really great match. Christian spit in Orton's face, which got Orton to get pretty irate. Kick to the nuts. New champion Christian. Because it was written, if Orton gets DQ'd, Christian becomes champion. So one belt changed hands. They probably sitting there thinking, why was I trying to sit Indian style with the WWE Championship? So now we're down to Punk and Cena. This match, that crowd was ridiculously hot. If you've never been to Chicago before, it's a really anti-Cena crowd. I was there for WrestleMania 22, so I know Chicago is sometimes referred to as Bizarro World by the commentators, because Chicago cheers for who they like and boos for who they don't like. And we don't like Cena. Period. That's why you hear the bass for Cena sucks and the high pitch for Let's Go Cena. They did the Chicago spot. This has been happening almost ever since WrestleMania 22, where one guy throws a punch and the crowd goes boo. Other guy, crowd cheers. Boo! Yay! Boo! Yay! That's called the Chicago spot. It's a back and forth where the crowd is solidly behind one person and against the other person. It's just fantastic. And it's also made me realize, normally it had enough friends over, we're watching things, we don't watch the Big Four, or we'll go to like Buffalo Wild Wings. So I never really hear the commentators. I'm amazed at how much they push Cena to the moon. Cena took 2 knees to the jaw while hanging on the ropes. And I get to hear there's something magical about Cena. That he was knocked unconscious but still couldn't be pinned. There was something magical about John Cena. I was sitting and watching with a buddy of mine. He's a huge fan of Shazam, who's the 13-year-old boy who says the word Shazam, and then he becomes a full-grown man with superhuman strength. So I guess actually John Cena is probably like a 13-year-old boy who goes, Cena! And then he becomes, this relatively muscle-bound guy who is superhuman and has, invulnerability and whole 9 yards, because he never seems to really truly get beaten. Now, of course, this one has some really great back and forth. Lots of times it seemed like, you see Cena, you see Punk at the STF, like he was going to be tapping. STF got countered into Anaconda Vice. Anaconda Vice, Cena stood up and goes for AA. Lots of AAs, lots of GTS, lots of moves back and forth. Neither guy's put another person away. McMahon and John Laurinaitis run down. Cena has just slapped on like his 5th STF. McMahon is telling Laurinaitis to run down there and have him ring the bell. They're going to try to screw Punk out of the match. Cena comes out, beats up Laurinaitis. I'm like, no, you will not do this in my match. Rolls into the ring. Goes to grab Punk. Punk, GTS. And there's that moment where you stop and you go, did Punk just beat John Cena in Chicago for the WWE Championship? Of course, I don't believe in the spinner belt. That's not a champion. That's a child's toy made out of metal. So CM Punk wins. McMahon comes down, starts yelling at the microphone, bring Del Rio down. Cash it in, cash it in, cash it in. Punk looks and goes, hops into the crowd and goes running through the crowd with the belt. So also mentions Colt Cabana was in the audience, in the front row. Good old Colt Cabana. So all I gotta say is, the only paper that I've actually officially bought so far this year, beyond going someplace and watching one. And this one was by far not let down at all. I'm looking forward to Raw tomorrow. First time I can say that in a long time that I'm really adamantly looking forward to Raw, except for like the return of The Undertaker. I'm really, really tempted to toss Smackdown onto my DVR. I probably won't see it on Friday because Captain America's coming out and that'll take precedence over it. But seeing Christian win that title, unless he loses it on Tuesday for SmackDown, I'm actually somewhat excited to see what's going to happen on Raw. Will they bring back this title? Will the U.S. belt become the highest belt? Will they throw some sort of weird snafu and, Punk has to defend the title at SummerSlam or whatever? Or will Punk legitimately have gotten to remove the spinner belt from Vince's arsenal? So Vince has to bring back out, this good boy right here. Or if Punk would actually show up and go, you want the belt back? Here. Hand him the spinner belt, and then grab this belt. Well, that means something. So either way, Cena has been vanquished. He wasn't actually fired on the spot, Vince said he was going to do. But all I gotta say is, it is bittersweet because looking back at it now, I wish I would have appreciated Punk more when he was with the E. When he was on SmackDown, I actually watched his spots with the Straight Edge Society. That was about it. He was the best thing to watch on SmackDown. He came over to Raw. He was probably one of the best things to watch on Raw. He made ECW fantastic during his run. Of course, with a New Breed, or feuding with John Morrison, or feuding with Chavo. You know, he did a really fantastic job. That being said, I don't think he was appreciated by the actual fan base. And you can tell that this almost read like a love letter to the Chicago fans. You know what? Christian deserves to be champion more than Orton. Period. You know what? CM Punk deserves to go out on a high note against John Cena. So let's be honest, regardless of what would have happened, Punk would have let that look like $1 million. The only thing I could have seen happening that would make even better television would have been if McMahon would have come down and Cena would have turned heel, sided with McMahon to beat Punk. But then with the commentators running Punk down as like this uber super villain, it wouldn't have made any difference anyways. It just would have made it seem like, oh, Cena sided with Vince for the betterment of the universe. Which would have been good if it would have actually turned him heel, but he still would have stayed face, so it probably would have been kind of vanilla. So, between Christian getting the belt, Punk getting the belt, and giving Daniel Bryan a guaranteed chance at winning the title, the only one who could have made it even sweeter would have been putting the Raw Money in the Bank on Kofi Kingston as opposed to Del Rio. And that was Money in the Bank.